Well, we're back this week for another edition of Te Akau TV, and we're joined by Te Akau racing manager Reece Trumper. Reece, you're off to Melbourne tomorrow to go and take in Cup Week. Talk us through that.
Yes, it's been a busy time so far this season. It's a good opportunity for me to get over and have a look at our Cranbourne base. It's probably our last quiet weekend before it really ramps up next weekend, with Rickerton Cup Week obviously coming along really fast, and I'm looking forward to getting over there for sure.
And there'll be one horse in particular I'm sure you can't wait to see, and that's, of course, the Group 1 Manicato sprint winner on the weekend, Imperatriz. And you probably haven't seen her for a wee while now, Reece, but I'm sure you're looking forward to seeing her in the flesh there this weekend.
Absolutely. I was lucky enough when she was a 2-year-old to strap her when she won her Group 2 Eclipse, and I was always a massive fan ever since I saw her at the farm, and I was able to be there when she was getting broken in due to COVID times. So no, she's a very special horse to me, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her.
Fantastic. Well, let's just touch on the winners that have been this week. We've touched on Imperatriz there, but Rotorua on Thursday, Furiato won there for Pencara Stud. Rickerton on Saturday, It's Business Time, took home the chocolates there for Windsor Park Stud. And then it was good to see Cognito come out there and win at Pokakoe Park on Saturday as well.
Furiato, she's going to be a lovely staying filly for the future. Thanks heaps to Gary Cossey and Sir Peter Vella for letting us just take our time with her. We could have had her up and going a bit quicker, but they allowed us to take our time, and she's really strengthened up mentally and physically this preparation. She's in for a really nice season. And races like the Dunstan final on New Year's Day, they're the type of races that I can see her winning for sure. It's Business Time. Incredible season so far for her. The 1400 was always going to help her. So the step up to the mile when the Copeland's mile comes around, it's going to be ideal for her, and she'll be on the minimum of 53 kgs, and she looks awfully hard to beat. Incognito, it was a peach of a ride by Palmer. He's a horse that we've had a lot of problems with, but he's maturing now, and he's definitely going the right way.
A good bunch of horses trialling there at Te Rapa on Tuesday. Headline probably by Maven Bell. Good to see Wild Knight back in action after missing the spring. Wolverine stepped out for the stable for the first time. And of course, the early spring 2-year-old winner Bellatrix Star was seen as well. Can you touch on a couple of those just quickly?
Maven Bell was impressive. Happy with the way she's coming up. She was up against the stablemate Reece, and they went to the line strongly together, so they're both peaking for next Saturday, Legacy Lodge Sprint at Te Rapa for sure. Wolverine, really happy. We've had a few issues with her coming up. She can get quite hard going, but Matt Cameron had her sorted at the trials, and she really attacked the line strongly, and she's also heading towards the Legacy Lodge. Happy with her. Bellatrix Star, thrilled with the way she's coming up. Again, she had a 3-week break after a dominant win at Wanganui. The horse that beat her, Marikato, he's a decent 2-year-old by Arch Rosson. There's some great people involved with him. And obviously Wild Knight, it was great to have him back. He's a beautiful animal. He's strengthened up. The break's certainly done him well. And thanks heaps to all the owners for just letting us do what we needed to do with him.
Fantastic. Well, we'll have a look at 4 cards quickly. So Te Araha there on Friday, Tauranga and Trentham Saturday, and I think we've got 1 or 2 runners there at Ashburton on Sunday. So we'll kick off there in Te Aroha, and there's a couple of scratchings. Well, there is a few scratchings that we'll run through in a second, but race 2 there, the Entane in New Zealand Bloodstock Insurance Pearl Series race, maiden fillies and mares over 1600. Court of Appeal is on the ballot. Expected to get a start there. Reece Hasner and Jan Palmer on board.
Yes, she's in the field, which is good. I thought she was okay first up. She got back in an awkward spot. She's probably a horse that needs to have momentum and bowling into it. So she's drawn an ideal barrier for that. And Palmer rides all her track work and gets on with her really well.
And race 5, the Main Freight 1400, rating 65 benchmark. Invincible draws barrier 4 with 56.5 kilos and Michael McNabb on her back.
Yeah, really happy with the way she's coming up. She's in good order. She's strengthened up again this preparation. She's got a nice barrier, but she does let herself down in the barriers sometimes. So as long as she jumps away and puts herself in a good spot from that draw, she'll be competitive.
And race 6, the Donahue's Pro Equine 1400, rating 65 benchmark. Hayati for Fortuna Racing draws barrier 12 with Michael McNabb on board.
Sticky barrier, but she's got a big run down the back straight at Tiara, which is ideal, and she'll improve to a full position, I'm sure if she jumped out well, or Michael will just take her back for a bit of cover. She is coming off a bit of a let up, so whatever she does, she'll definitely improve off.
And race 7, the Donaghy's Pro Dairy 1180 maiden 3-year-old. Vivacious has been pretty impressive in the trials, winning 2 of them. Lines up here for Fortuna Racing.
We have a lot of time for this filly. Mark always said to me before she ever went to the trials, I think we've found a nice filly, and this is her. She's drawn a nice barrier. She'll hop away quickly. Vinnie Colgan's a really nice, calm rider that's been coming and doing a lot for the team here at our Matamata base, so he deserves an opportunity on a nice filly like this, and expecting a really bold showing.
And race 8, the Donaghy's Butchcombe Memorial Cup, there over 1,600 metres. Bell of the Ball of Court Course, Group 3 placed last campaign. Draws barrier 11 with Miriam Palmer on board.
Just trying to recapture her best form. She was disappointing the other day at Matamata in a race that I thought she was really well placed in. Looks a similar field, taking the blinkers off. Her work's been good at home. We can't fault her, and we expect an improved performance.
Great. And over to Tauranga there on Saturday. We kick off in race 2, the Avoject 3-year-old 1200 3-year-old race. There, Koo Cullen lines up there and draws barrier 3 with Joe Cameron on board.
Just one more at Tiara, Matakana Girl, and the race after Bella the Bull. She's drawn a sticky barrier in barrier 16. She's shown us enough at the trials, but her pedigree definitely suggests that she's going to get over more ground in time. But she's a lovely filly that we've got a lot of time for, and whatever she does tomorrow, she's certainly got to improve. Koo Cullen, happy with the way he's come up. He obviously raced in the South as a 2-year-old, and he learned a lot from that. He matured, and his fresh up run, we're expecting a big performance. I thought he trialled well. He is a horse that gets on the steel, so we'll ride him neutral from that draw. Should be able to posse up in a nice forward position, and Joe gets on with him well, and I expect a nice run.
Nice. And race 5 there, the Flying Mullet Sports Bar 1400 Open Handicap. Brando in there with the top weight of the handicap, but has the service of Jessica Allen on his back, claiming 3 kilos.
Yep, his work's been sensational this week. Just had a little bit of a virus since his last start, but he's got over that. The 1400 looks ideal for where he is in his preparation, but whatever he does on Saturday is definitely going to improve off when he goes to the Gatshaw in 2 weeks' time.
And of course, he won over the mile track there in March as well, in a Group 2 or 3 race, I believe. Race 6, the Team Whelans 1200 rating 75 benchmark. I'd Choose You. Draws barrier 10 there with Michael McNabb on board.
She was really good first up. We were happy with the way she really built into the line. I thought she had the line full of running off a run that wasn't ideal. And Kai finished off just as strong as she did, and she came out and won her next start. So that form's good enough to be winning this sort of race. She has drawn wide, so we'll have to go back again. But Michael will definitely assess how it pans out.
And race 7 there, the Snow Williams Bailey Country 1200 rating 65 benchmark. Aquas there for Pencara, draws barrier 1 with Michael McNabb on board.
She's a nice mare that's matured into a nice 4-year-old now. She's definitely going to improve off this run. We have thrown her in the deep end straight away in a Saturday meeting, but we're happy with the way she's going.
And race 8, the Seeker 2100 rating 88 handicap, Fierce Flight, has been seen down in the Hawke's Bay in recent months. Draws barrier 3 there with Sam Weatherly on board.
He's in good order for his race on Saturday. He's drawn a nice barrier, so we could be positive from that draw. He's unbeaten at 2100, which is a big help. He goes well at Tauranga, so he ticks a lot of boxes, but he certainly does need to turn his form around, but I think he's in the right mind space and shape to do so.
And race 9, the Bailey's Tauranga 2100 rating 65 benchmark, Faking It, draws barrier 3 with Michael McNabb on board.
She'll be allowed to bowl along out in front. She loves doing that. And off her work this week, she's definitely a top player. I thought she was good the other day at Tauranga, actually, over the mile. So the step up and trip will help her. And any rain around's definitely got to bring her into it more.
And race 10 there, they're celebrating 150 years of racing in Tauranga, rating 65 benchmark. Almanet draws barrier 1 and has the services of Joe Cameron. And Spellcraft, Reese and Spellcraft's 5th on the ballot there as well.
She was very unlucky last day, Almanet. I thought she did well to only finish 3 lengths off the winner. She's done well since then, and we're happy with the way she presents, and she should be able to box seat and get a soft run, and the mile's really going to help her, and she's a top 3 chance. And Spellcraft is just trying to recapture his best form that he showed us late last prep. But he's in great order and couldn't be any more happy with him. From that draw, if he got in the field, he'll land in the first 3 or 4, and I'm sure he can turn his form around.
And just the one making the trek down to Trentham there on Saturday in race 5, the courtesy Ford Red Craze Bowl Open Handicap. That is perfect scenario. Is he heading further south after this run race?
He will be. There's a race on the last day at Riccarton Carnival, an Open 1400 worth 75 grand. So the 1400 first up isn't ideal for him. He's probably be better suited if it was 1200. So it wouldn't surprise us if he blew out the last bit, but he's certainly in great shape. And he showed us at the Matamata trials he's got plenty of speed in his legs, and it wouldn't surprise me if he ran a nice cheeky race for sure.
And over to Ashburton there on Sunday, we kick off in race 9, the Juice Signs rating 75 benchmark. Cote de Burn showed some good form there on the synthetic earlier on in the season. Hasn't recaptured that form on the turf as of yet, but draws barrier 1 with Warren Kennedy on board.
Getting him back onto a good track will help him. He's had a bit of time out of the stable since his last run. So I expect him to bounce back. And from a good draw, he'll get a soft run. And Warren gets on with the horse really well. And expect him to run a cheeky race.
And race 11, the Agriforum Comcat rating 65 benchmark 1400. The last runner of the weekend there, Mazzucato, draws barrier 13 with Warren Kennedy on board.
Really happy with the way she presents on Sunday. Mark's been down there and had a look at the team, and he's really happy with her. It's a good opportunity for her to try and get into the 1,000 guineas and go in with confidence, or if we have to lower our sights, we will. But she's drawn a sticky barrier, so she'll get back. She can get over racing a bit, but really happy with the way she presents on Sunday.
Fantastic. Well, that wraps up the runners for the weekend. Reece, have you got a best bet for us?
I think Brando for a place. I think that's a very good bet.
Fantastic. Well, you go Brando for a place there at his happy hunting ground of Tauranga. And I guess looking ahead to next week, I know you touched on it, but we've got the big weekend of racing coming up with Cup Week. There's some exciting racing action there on Tuesday at Pukekohe Park, which I'm sure there'll be a couple in their race. And of course, Skew Whiff, I believe, lines up in a Group 3 race there at Flemington. Set weights and penalties for mares over 1400 there on Cup Day as well. So keep a lookout for her before we head into a pretty exciting day of racing at Cup Day on Saturday as well. So I'm sure we'll be out and about, and you have a good trip over to Melbourne, Reece, and we'll catch you again sometime soon.
Thanks, AZ.